Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to the very first video as Piccadilly Sidings. Now, just want to let you know what's actually going on here. The channel is called Piccadilly Model Railway. The N-gauge layout upstairs with Manchester Piccadilly Station is called simply Piccadilly, and this layout is going to be called Piccadilly Sidings. Now, so that you know the difference between the two, because some of you might be more into the N gauge, some of you might be more into the double O gauge, and that's absolutely fine. I don't want to say you've got to watch all the videos. You don't have to watch any of them. It's entirely up to you. But as you know, I said I would brand each one slightly differently. So I'm going to insert a screenshot now of the two different types of thumbnail that you're likely to see. Now, if you notice, we've got the Piccadilly Model Railway logo at the bottom there, which is in blue, and that will be for the N gauge. But also in the top left-hand corner, it will say what gauge it is. So that's N gauge. And for the Piccadilly Sidings one, which is this video's thumbnail, you've obviously got a green logo at the bottom. So that will be everything for this, but also it will say double O gauge. So I hope that makes it clear for you. Anyway, welcome back. So basically, as you can see, there's not an awful lot happened since Christmas at the moment. I have gone ahead and ballasted the track, as you can see here. This is a brand new type of ballast, and it's a special ballast. It's called paper, a very special type of ballast, and it's very, very cheap and incredibly versatile. It can be used in any situation you want it to be. Being a little bit more serious now. The layout itself, when I do finally get round to building it, which won't be probably another month, 2 months, maybe even a bit longer than that, it really does come down to the actual cost of it all, really, buying the track and buying all the board and the wood that goes with that. So please understand, I can't just go out and buy all these things, and you'll understand a bit more later in the video. But it's going to be approximately 11 foot wide, and probably around about 16 inches wide. So that turns out about 3.4 meters long by around about 400 millimeters. Now, if I pan you up, mind the Dalek, don't upset him. Now, if you can see, we're in the living room. So it's going to go up here, all the way along there, up to that little CD rack there. All right, so it's going to be just above the settee, and so that obviously when we sit on the settee it's not going to bump your head. All right, so that's the positioning of it. Just take you back down so you can watch these trains. Now, what I've decided to do, because I've ordered a Hatton 66 now, I know many of you have cancelled theirs, but I actually want one, and you know, it's down to our each individual choice whether we go ahead and buy it, whether we decide not to buy it. But I quite like the idea of it, so I'm going to persist with it, however long it takes. Could be another 6 months, it could even be another year. I really don't know. It depends on how quickly they can get the situation sorted out. But I understand that the sound on it is using a very heavy bass speaker. And so what I've decided to do is not fix it to the wall, because the last thing I want to do is the neighbours constantly hearing that 66 and get completely fed up with me because they rumble through the wall. So I'm going to have it as a freestanding structure. And I'll insert a picture now so that you can see what I'm proposing. So as you can see, it'll be a wooden structure with obviously cross bracing to give triangular support, but there will also be some angle brackets top and bottom to support the legs, and also the top supports where the layout will sit. Okay, hope that makes sense. Right, now hopefully you've understood that, but I've bought these London brackets, so there's some quite large ones there. And for extra stability, I've bought some really small ones. Now, the idea will be that I will then mount that so it's away from the wall, and then against the back seam, I shall put some foam. So that will really help to diminish any sounds going through the wall. All right. Now you might be thinking, well, John, you haven't got anything to show us other than the structure. Well, I've actually got a track plan. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. Right, just a brief overview. Towards the bottom of the layout, you can see we've got the shunting puzzle, which is what the whole layout is based on. So we've got 3 sidings to the left, and you've got the head shunt to the right of that. But just above, you will obviously notice there is a small station. I was thinking that actually it would be really nice sometimes just to have a train run in, stop at the station, and then run out the other side. So we've got the fiddle yard on the right hand side for any trains that do run out of the station, and there's also a run round loops there, so it could be a terminus, so trains could drop their coaches, the loco run round to the other side and then back out again on the right hand side. But equally, if you notice on the left hand side, there is going to be a small viaduct over a river. I won a kit, a viaduct kit, probably a couple of years ago now, but I haven't done anything with it. So this is a perfect opportunity to use that. But I'm hoping to, beyond to the left of that viaduct, to have some really tall trees to create a hidden section. So it's like an on-scene fiddle yard, if you like. One track, so a train could just go into that section, stop and be completely hidden, and then come back and run through the station out the other side as and when we want. Okay, so hopefully that makes things relatively clear there. Well, it's all very exciting. This is the very, very kind gift sent by Kev from Medway Peninsula Model Railway. So let's get it open and have a look and see what it is. I know he got in touch with you a few weeks ago, as I said, and he said he'd got some points. Obviously knowing about Piccadilly sidings, which is what I'm preparing for very soon, and I'll tell you a bit more about that later. But he said that he's got some points for me, and there was also something else. So let's have a look. Bubble wrap. Oh, wow. Look at these. That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate that really much. No, that is absolutely fantastic. Because I said to him I wanted long radius points on the layout, because I just don't want to have anything really short so that anything's likely to derail. But no, they're brilliant. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And look at this. Wow, that's going to fit in beautifully. Isn't that amazing? Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate that. That's going to absolutely brilliant. That's going to fit in absolutely beautifully. In fact, I mean, look at there's even a handle on there. I mean, you normally see that on coaches, but not on wagons. And there's some vacuum pipes as well. Just looking through the window there, that looks absolutely stunning. And there's a note, which, if you'll forgive me, I won't read out, because chances are there's probably some personal message in there. So, yeah, I won't read this note out. But yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate it. So these will go on to the layout when I finally get some baseboards and work out what track plan I'm going to use. But I'll tell you a bit more about that later in the video. Okay. Right. Okay. Now onto the stock then. As you can see now, we've got a 6-wheeled Peckett running round. It just happens to be right at the very back there. Just follow it round, coming round. So I love that. Absolutely gorgeous engine that is. As I showed you at Christmas, absolutely beautiful runner. It doesn't ever put a foot wrong, that one. And a number of wagons coming round, because, as I said, this is going to be a shunting puzzle. Now, I haven't done an awful lot to some of these, and there are some additional ones. If I actually bring that to a stop so you can see. Now, I'm not going to spend a long time on these, but there's that, obviously that brake van. It's, in terms of weathering, I'm not happy with it yet, and it's just not finished. So, but that is a very cheap original Hornby one, which I picked up from a model show, secondhand. So moving them on. There's this Palthorpe's or Palithorpe's sausage wagon, which I love that, to be honest. I've weathered it up and I'm quite happy with that. I'll bring the camera back side because obviously it's not quite fitting, but dab some rust spots on there and you might just be able to make out some salting on the roof there. I'm loving the way that one's sort of turned out. So whether you like it or not, that's it's your choice, but I quite like that one. This one I don't think you've seen. I don't think it was in the Christmas presents video, but that one there again I picked up from a show. The ladders unfortunately have broken, but I bought some scale model scenery ladders, and so eventually when I get round to weathering that and sorting it out, I'll replace the ladders, because actually the ladders on these come out. They don't follow the shape of the tank. They come out and then down slightly, so that will need to be modified. That one I think you've seen. That one hasn't changed since Christmas, so I'm really happy with that, and probably won't do an awful lot more to that, to be honest. Maybe dull up the inside a bit more, but that's about it. And that one I showed you before, I think was a gift, and that was not too bad. Actually, I didn't know. I think I bought that one, to be honest. I think that was a £5 from a show. But yeah, that one. That one, as I showed you, was in a terrible state, so I had to strip it and weather it back slightly, so I'm quite happy with that. This one's quite a new addition, and that comes off, so obviously that will need a little bit of weathering. I bought that from the local model shop, and that was a gift at the beginning, so it's that one. And I bought that one probably around about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. Just a cheap unpainted Dapol one. Obviously that needs some weathering, as does this next one, which was a gift at Christmas time. That will need some weathering at some point. And then we come to this one. And as I showed you at the very beginning, this was one of these very, very kind gifts from Kev at Medway Peninsula Model Railway. And look at that. What a gorgeous, gorgeous wagon that is. I'll just spend a little bit of time with that. So it's obviously very nicely weathered. Look at the detail on there. Very lovely, lovely printing. And even the vacuum pipes, that's absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for that, Kevin. That's just such a gorgeous wagon. That'll take pride of place really well. And there's one more to show you. And that was the I say freebie, but with the Backman Collectors Club. It's not freebie, obviously, but you know what I mean. So that was this year. That will obviously also need a bit of weathering. Now, there are one or two other items which I did show you at Christmas, and there's one thing you haven't seen yet. So I'll bring that in just now. And here it comes. And I think you saw that at Christmas time, but again, what a beautiful, beautiful loco that is. Now, I have had, of the three that I've got, and I showed you the Ruston as well, which I'll show you again in a minute. This is the one that I've had more problems with than anything. It might be just dirty track, dirty pickups, but this one is not so reliable as the other two. So I'm having to constantly keep giving this one an awful lot of maintenance. But it also could be, I've put a Hornby 4-pin chip in this, and I did run it with all the wagons, and it struggled a bit, and it could be because of the weight of the train that it was struggling. I actually run it with just this short rake. I'll send it round and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, see what I mean? Is it going to go? Is it going? Yeah, there it goes. But it shoots off with a bit of a force. And I say one more thing, but this is the last thing that you saw at Christmas time, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful train. I say train because it's obviously a loco and the wagon as well, so that does make it officially a train. 2 items, or a loco and an item wagon or coach. But this runs absolutely gorgeously. I mean, look how smooth that is. I mean, that is on DC. So I'll bring that back and you can have a look at that going around. And that, it's just crawling, as you can see. But equally, it will go a bit faster. I'm never going to run these very fast, obviously, because the bulk of this is going to be a shunting layout. But as I showed you, there's going to be a station. Just a one platform station like I showed you. And obviously this will never pull a train, or a passenger train anyway. But there is one more thing which I've not showed you just yet. So I'll just bring this up to a stop. Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. And I'll stop it in the shot. Yes, just there. Now, this next item is, well, for me, is enormous. It's certainly the biggest train I've ever got. But to many of you, this will just be normal or even small. But here it is. Can you guess what it is yet? Coming in quite slowly. Here it comes. Yes, it's a 158. Now, you think, John, what on earth are you doing? You've bought steamers, you've bought a Ruston, and now you've bought a 158. I know, we're all one. You see, the thing is, I'll bring it so you can see the end. I don't want this to be a particular set period of time. I want it to be, put this on and it becomes this period, or put that on and it becomes that period. So if I run the 158 and I've got the steamers shunting in the yard, it's a heritage part of the layout. The shunting puzzle becomes a heritage part. Or if I run a steamer with a train on it, then it's set back in the 1920s or something like that. So the features I'm going to put on the layout, I'm going to use semaphore signals eventually. And so that would then cover any period of time, because there are still stations around the country that still have semaphores. Not perhaps quite so many as now, but as there were, obviously. But you know, I want to give a period feel, but yet it still could be a modern, up-to-date station if we want it to be. Now, just going back to this 158. Now, I'm only using a select at the moment because this is, this is the sound fitted one. Now, I'm not going to go through all the details. There are loads of videos on the internet. And even then, with the select, and I think it's got an old software in it, so I can't really do an awful lot. So it can only just blow the horn, and the other one, if it will work. No, function 3 is not going to work on the select for me at the minute. The doors opening, and as you can see, the lights have come on down the side there, just there, which I'm really pleased about. And obviously you got the bleep and the light will go off. Now this is amazing, this train. Now I've got a Z21 coming, which I managed to get stupid cheap. Just the white one, because I think that would be just adequate for this layout. It's not going to be a massive thing. But once I've got that, then I can get the full range of functions going. I can't, of those three other locos there, that one is DCC, but these two are still running the blanking chips, so I can't use those with DCC at the moment. But if I try and run this DCC, it runs a bit jerkily, to be honest. It's not smooth at all, but on DCC, absolutely stunning, as you will see now. One thing I did notice, you have to actively take the brake off. Now, I'm sure you've seen this on many channels, but I am just so impressed with this. So I can't even turn the lights on at the moment, so I'm looking forward to getting that Z21 back. But I'm just so impressed with this. I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. And just to finish off, what other stock am I hoping to get in the future? Well, I'm not going to never say never to anything, but I couldn't resist the rocket. So we're going right back to the 1830s for that. So there's a rocket coming with obviously 3 coaches. I think I've ordered a blue 08, and there's going to be another Peckett, the grey one, which I'm hoping to get. And also when they come out, obviously the 66, which is going to be the Europort one. Because that's called Sarah, and that's the name of my daughter. So I thought that was quite an appropriate one. And then lastly, I'm looking at a couple of DMUs, maybe a 108 in blue livery, or even green, and maybe even a 121 or something like that, 117, something like a single bubble car. So there'll be 2 or 3 different trains. Oh, the Rails Terrier. And I'll probably get a couple of the Hatton's coaches to go along with that, so that can run into the station, have a run round, and then pull the train out the other side. Okay, I will be doing reviews on some of those items when they come, but obviously I'm not going to do a review on everything because it's been done by many other channels, and I can't see the point in duplicating something. So there won't be a review of this 158 because others have done it, and probably done it a lot better than I will be as well. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, the first look at what is going to be Piccadilly Sidings, and we'll be back with the main Piccadilly layout next week, and I'll be doing a bit more to the station, and I think I'm going to be working on the interior of the waiting room and maybe 1 or 2 other bits as well. All right, so I'll catch you soon. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care of yourself, have a good week, and bye for now. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do like, subscribe and share, not forgetting to click on that little bell to get regular notifications of any videos I upload. Some other videos are appearing on the screen right now which also might take your interest. Thanks once again, and bye for now.